say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, who say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Like Bruce said, I'm a senior manager. I work out of the Bowling Green office, and I live about 2.5 hours from here. So it was wonderful coming up, the drive up to come to your community event. I love it here at the airport. We're encouraging our volunteers to do different things, and this is different. In fact, it's so different that we had one of our insurance guys drive up from Marietta today to see what all was going on here. So just to make sure we're all safe and sound. So I just want to share with you for a couple of minutes what your donor dollars is doing in your community. First of all, I don't know if you all know that the American Cancer Society has been around for over 100 years. Relay for Life is 38 years old, and it is the signature fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. It is the #1 peer-to-peer fundraiser of any nonprofit organization in the world. So I want you to know that you all are a part of that. So I don't know if you know this, but the American Cancer Society has been a part of almost every single cancer research breakthrough that has ever happened. There's only one other organization that gives more towards cancer research, and that is the federal government, and that is funded through your tax dollars. So you don't have a choice on that research, but you do have a choice to donate to the American Cancer Society. So I want to say thank you for that on the behalf of the American Cancer Society. If you're a survivor here today, your treatment that saved your life to be here today was part of what the American Cancer Society has done. And it's also a part of what your community, when you look around you, everyone that's here was a part of. If you've ever contributed, donated, had a team, been a volunteer, so I can say everyone that I can see here has been a part of saving your life. And I can't imagine how that makes you feel as a survivor, to see your community come together to save your life. That's how important you are to them and to the American Cancer Society. So just outside of research, a couple of things that the American Cancer Society does is we go to your insurance company and we ask them to give you low or no cost screenings, so that you can catch cancer at its earliest stage and be able to fight it even easier. Also something, I was talking to Gary and Yvette earlier, and from the TV station, and I was sharing with them that if you never get cancer, you have been helped by the American Cancer Society in numerous ways. Outside of your insurance companies giving you those screenings, your insurance company follow our guidelines. We are the grand poobah when it comes to guidelines on screenings. Your insurance company follows that. If you can go to work or into a restaurant, and you can enjoy working or eating a meal without having to be exposed to secondhand smoke. The American Cancer Society is 99% of the time the one that is pushing that non-smoking, those smoke-free laws in your communities. So another thing that is pretty close here, we have something in Lexington, Kentucky. Some of you may have heard of this. It's called the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge. And that is a free place to stay if you're a cancer patient. You're having to drive a long distance into a major city for your treatment. That is a free place for you to stay and a caregiver to stay with you. I don't have the numbers for here, but I live in Logan County, Kentucky, which is a small community just like this one. And I can tell you that in my community last year, there were 4 families that stayed over 100 nights in the Hope Lodge, either in Lexington or Nashville. We know what a hotel room costs. You're looking at an average of $100 per night, and that's a decent hotel. So over a 100-night stay, that saved families in my community over $10,000 in hotel expenses. So I want you all to know that the American Cancer Society realizes that you have a choice of who you can donate to, and that we try every day to be excellent stewards of the dollars that you donate to us through research, programs, services, education, prevention, and things like the Hope Lodge. I'm not going to take up any more time. I know you've got a great survivor speaker who's going to come up and speak to you. I just want to say on behalf of the American Cancer Society, thank you to the survivors that were here. You also had a choice of whether you could come here tonight, but also thank you to this community for what you do for the American Cancer Society and the survivors in your community. Thank you, Drew.
We have a wonderful survivor speaker tonight. We have Miss Tammy Brady. I'm going to invite her up. And Relay for Life is, our event is kind of the culmination of all the fundraising and hard work from all of our volunteers. But more importantly than that, it's our time to come together and recognize our community of survivors, to celebrate with you, to just show the support and the love and the prayers that are behind the scenes and what you are enduring. And it's so wonderful to hear testimonies and stories from our local survivors. It's encouraging for me. It's encouraging for our volunteers. Thank you for being the fulfillment or the example of what it means to have hope. Thank you for all that you do. Tammy, I'm going to turn it over.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Brady, and I am a 7-year breast cancer survivor. And yes, thank you. Yes, I am a miracle. And that's what my doctor tells me every time I go visit him. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 47 years old. That year, they were having the Relay for Life just 2 days before I found out my news. So I decided to attend, hoping that I could wrap my head around everything that was happening to me. The overwhelming fear of being so scared and having so many things running through my mind will never be forgotten. How was I going to get through this? So I started relying on so many survivors, reached out to so many new friends and family for help. I had asked myself every day, how was I going to do all this? Get to all these appointments, keep up with everything. It was definitely a life-changing experience for me. My daughter was 8 years old, and my 2 sons was in college and high school, and my wonderful and supportive husband was there every step of the way, guiding me through my journey. So many people are diagnosed every day with this disease, but I thought it would never happen to me. I knew that I was going to have to go through the biggest fight of my life. I had to give it all to God. I knew He had given me this big old heart, so I just figured that I had to start using it. I reached deep inside and pulled out so much courage, love, forgiveness, faith, strength, and hope that I never knew that was there. I kept myself busy during my journey, never missed anything with my kids, never hid from this disease. I just put one foot forward and kept moving. I knew that this was what was going to get me through. My faith in God, love for my family, and my very strong husband and children was what pushed me every day to be this. My life changed for the better. I'm not afraid of the unknown, and I continue to educate myself. I try to encourage all cancer patients to keep the faith and strength to move forward. During my journey, I went through 8 chemo treatments, a right radical mastectomy, breast reconstruction surgery, 28 radiation treatments, and 6 surgeries, all within a year. I still take a maintenance chemo drug daily for 3 years, and I visit my favorite oncologist, Dr. Lozano, every 6 months, and I just keep smiling through it all. I never think about cancer. I try every day to keep that word out of my life if all possible. I am not anti-cancer by no means. I just try to keep positive, and it is so very hard. Every day as I drive to work, I just look around at everyone rushing through life. I feel very blessed to say that I am still here to live this life and to give it all that I have. Enjoy every moment. Even if you don't feel good, make yourself happy. This is what He wanted us to do. Faith, hope, and love, it's what we were all given. So reach deep, give a little of yourself every day, and you will receive something in return, I promise you. Thank you, and thank you, Mimi Crum, for inspiring me during my journey and to speak to you tonight. God bless each of you, and never forget that we are all one supportive family, and we're all here for each other. Thank you again, and enjoy this wonderful night.